We live in an age of marvels. We connect, interact, communicate, and travel in ways that even our relatively recent ancestors would find indistinguishable from magic. We walk through our daily lives casually doing the impossible, at least as it's been defined for most of recorded history. But don't take my word on it. Go ahead and look it up. After all, you've likely got the sum total of human knowledge in your pocket, assuming you have a smartphone. Take a second to think about everything in your life. Where you live, where you work, and how you get from one to the other. The phones and computers you use to stay in touch with those you care about. The meals you share when you're able to spend time with them. The clothes on your back and the shoes on your feet. The technologies that keep you comfortably cool or warm and extend your days beyond the sunsets. All of these things share a common thread. Seco makes the tools that pretty much make all of them possible. Sounds like a bold claim, doesn't it? Let's go a little more in depth. Modern cutting tools really came into their own thanks to the automotive industry. More specifically, in the 1930s, there was a desire to transform the car from a luxury for the elite to a staple for the common man. This wild dream led to the development of mass production systems and the cutting tools that empower them. Steam-powered machines incorporated cemented carbide tools that could cut metal in a fraction of the time required by previous methods. Today's cars bear only a passing resemblance to their long-gone predecessors, but they're as dependent as ever on high-quality cutting tools. Seco's SpeedMax and PerforMax drills are used to create up to 5,000 holes for a single car. Our Duratomic grades, including TP1501, TP2501, and TK2001, are used to cut high-precision engine components, with a single modern tool doing the same amount of work that required over 200 just 40 years ago. The bumpers, body, light housings, dashboard, and tires are all stamped with dies or made with molds, and all of those dies and molds are made with a wide variety of cutting tools. Of course, knowing what you now do about cars and cutting tools, I can guess what you're thinking. Yes, of course your breakfast wouldn't have been possible without cutting tools. I know. Agriculture's been around for as long as people have been writing down what's around. But the way things used to be, the majority of us would have been working all day, every day, just to produce enough food to keep us all from starving. As recently as 150 years ago, farmers made up over half of America's workforce. The same types of technological advancements that made the automobile our default mode of transportation have continually redefined agriculture. In the 1950s, tractors outnumbered horses on farms for the first time, and we've never looked back. Today's tractors are testaments of ingenuity, able to till and plant up to 400 acres per day, a feat considered laughable just several short decades ago. These massive, efficient machines are made possible by hard, high-strength steels and the cutting tools that transform them into incredibly accurate components. Tools like Seco's CBN 300, CBN 150, Double Octamill, and Square 6 cut the parts that make the machines that make it possible to feed a planet of 7 billion. Speaking of which, how did we end up with 7 billion people walking around anyway? Think the answer's cutting tools? Well, yeah, that makes sense, right? For starters, all the sensitive measurement equipment used by scientists to research cures for diseases, all made with cutting tools, or at least by machines that were made with cutting tools. The drugs we take to suppress and eliminate common mortal illnesses, the production lines making them wouldn't be possible without cutting tools, not to mention things like pacemakers and artificial hearts, again, made with cutting tools. And life isn't just longer, it's better. In the past, those who lived past middle age frequently had to deal with joints, backs, and teeth that became sources of constant pain. Today, if your knee or hip decides it's time to retire, you can get a brand new one. Your back can be strengthened and your teeth can be replaced. All of these implants are made of advanced materials such as cobalt chrome or titanium alloys. And those materials couldn't be machined to properly strengthen your body without end mills like Seco's Galbro JH141 or JH111, or micrograin carbide grains such as TS2000 and F40M. Health is just one measure of quality of life. Electricity drives a host of modern conveniences that simplify our lives, and whether it's generated by wind, water, coal, or nuclear power, cutting tools were an absolute necessity in building the equipment needed to create and deliver it. The oil and gas that powers your car and keeps you warm in the winter is obtained via drilling equipment, machined with cutting tools. No discussion of our modern age could be considered complete without looking to the skies. Since the first people saw a bird take to the air, we've dreamed of doing the same. And over the past several generations, we've grown accustomed to miracles. We regularly traverse in hours distances that were difficult journeys of months or years in the past. We look at the moon and think, yeah, we've been there. The planes and rockets that give us flight require engines made of incredibly advanced alloys, capable of withstanding temperatures of thousands of degrees, quite literally. Seco's advanced PVD-coated grades F40M and TS2000 cut these parts. Tools such as our High-Feed 2 cut the enormous components that make up the wings, fuselage, and landing gear. Modern air travel would be wholly impossible without the cutting tools that drive our manufacturing processes. Even as I speak right now, you're hearing what I'm saying thanks to cutting tools. Whether you're staring at a television, computer monitor, or your phone, it contains circuit boards that translate the seemingly endless stream of ones and zeros into my face and voice. Seco's tiny FeedMax drills cut these circuit boards. Whatever the nature or size of the device, look at the screen. See the plastic? It was formed in highly accurate molds. Seco's end mills cut those molds. When you know where to look, it's impossible to overlook the contributions that cutting tools make to our world. Their footprints are everywhere, empowering the magic we casually use and making our lives all the better for it.